Well everyone, welcome to another Scrappin' Irish installment of a video of some sort. And what is it this time? Well, as you can see, I have what used to be a karaoke machine. So this is one that you plugged into your TV and you sang along to with the music, and you had your built-in speaker, you put your mics in here and you had your mic too, so if there was two people you could speak along each. You could add echoes. There's all different sort of stuff here that you could add to make it. So essentially it's a CD player, but hopefully we might find something better than what you normally find in your normal CD player, seeing it's a karaoke machine. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to just have a quick look at it. So at the front, just straightforward, if you're for playing your tapes and stuff like that. So there's a tape recorder or tape player, and on the top here it has a CD player. So in there your CD went. So now it's not the best brand in the world, but it's a brand. What's on the side? So that's where your mics were just left holding in there. Handles, nothing else. A lot of screws here, a lot of screws underneath. So what does that mean, guys? Well, that means we're going to have to start. Let me bring the camera up a bit. That means we're going to have to start screwing stuff out. So let's get to work on that. First, we're going to take off the back cover. Well, first things I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the cable off, of course. So we have a cable and we have a plug on here. So again, I'll remove the plug because that will go in with my rest of my plugs for plug soup, or in this case it's just an absolute easy to screw it apart. I think it's not an actual sealed plug, is it? No, it's just a normal plug, so that can be taken apart, and these can be taken out for your brass and put in with your brass cable into insulated copper wiring. So that's straightforward, nothing major there. So let's get to work and take this apart. Let's see what's behind this back cover first. Okay, so we've removed them screws, so let's try and take this back cover off and see what is in underneath that timber. So it's just a light bit of timber which can be used in the stove, so we can use that bit of heat. And what do we see here? Well, I see two boards. So I have one here and I have another board down here and a third board over here. So there's three boards, a bit better than I thought. One is going to be a power board, of course, which is here. That looks like it could be a power board of sorts again with a motor. And then we've got a very low grade board hidden in under there. So what next? Well, I suppose what I'm going to do I'm going to take off this fleece because I'm very warm at the moment. I have a nice stove heat behind me. So I'm going to take off the fleece that I had on. I don't need that on. So right, that's off. What am I going to do next? So I could probably remove that board there fairly easy if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that yet. I think my next port of call will be to remove any screws I see on the outside. So any of these type of screws and stuff. So I'm not going to make you sit through that. I'll remove them off screen. So all these screws here, them there. Again, there's more on this side. Just going to remove all them screws. One's on the bottom here as well on the base. We've got some screws on the base. So I'm going to remove all them off screen, and we'll see once I remove all them, what will that give us access to? Will that just probably end up just removing them anyhow? But these lower ones here will allow the side to come off, and we get a better view of the boards. So I'm going to do that straight away. So for you guys, it's going to be instant. So let's see how we got on. Okay, so I've removed all the screws from the side and stuff, so hopefully we can get it. One thing I missed when I didn't spot it when I opened it first was the little transformer down here. So we have a nice transformer, which I might as well just cut off there now. I'll get the snips, we'll cut that off. So we have a transformer there, nice little bit of weight to it. Just need to clean it up. So again, you can put that into, depending on what your scrapyard will do with them, whether they give you copper bearing motors or do they have a transformer category. It all depends on your scrapyard, I suppose. So right, let's see, can we pull this apart? So it's coming apart there somehow, but we're still hooked on with a lot of wiring. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of cutting, I'd say, by the looks of it, to get this free. So we'll cut some wire there, some wire there. It's like a bomb disposal, isn't it? Don't cut the red. So again, all this wire will be just low grade insulated wire usually, so I wouldn't be too worried about what I'm cutting and where I'm cutting it. It's just going to be low grade. And where are we left? We're left with him. Okay, so we have freed one part off, so we can get a look in there. So we have a lot of wire again that needs to be trimmed back, removed. So let me just do that. So we're going to have a lot of low grade insulated wire out of this. A little bit of ribbon wire, so we'll have a look at that and see if it's got any gold flashing on it. Okay, so now we're down to here, so let's trim this off. Okay, so again, just some gold, well, not gold, I wish it was gold wire, just some insulated wire. So again, we have another one here on a plug, a little bit of a plug here, if I could pull it out, but we won't work. There, and there, and there. So now we've got some screws here, so we might as well get this board off, because if we can remove this board, where again we have a little motor here, so again you can remove that, put into your copper bearing motors, or if you want to micro scrap it down, please feel free to. I would probably micro scrap it, but not in this video. I'd leave that sort of stuff for doing a later date, micro scrapping it down even further. Okay, so what have we got? Well, not a lot. A little bit of aluminium here. That's going to be about it off this. I don't see anything else on that board worth taking off. Do you guys see anything that you think is worth taking off? I only see that aluminium. And the other side of the board, nothing. So very, very low grade board. Put that aside. Now, do we take this one next, I suppose? Well, I see an IC chip on this one anyway, so a little bit better, but again, as I was saying at the start, this is not the most expensive brand on the market. Well, wouldn't have been the most expensive brand on the market, but at the time it would have been done its job, done the same as most of the other brands, so there was no need to have the most expensive one on the market. It was about a little bit of entertainment, a bit of fun. So let's have a look at this board. So again, all I see there is the IC chip. that I'll be taking off. Everything else I don't think I'll bother with. Again, do you guys take anything else? Is there silver in some of these? Am I missing something? Should I be taking these off for silver content? Again, on the other side, we have 2 more chips that I'll take off. But that's it. To maybe take this small, where did I see it, for the copper down here. Toroid for the copper. A little bit of copper on it, very little, but that's it. Okay, so nothing much so far. Now, I'm going to put that aside for a second because that is a really low grade board. So I'm not going to do much on him for a second. I'm going to have a look here. So again, we have another board here. So let's remove the screws on this and see what are we under here. Plenty of screws as normal. So again guys, hope all is well with you, and if you haven't already hit the like, why not hit it? Why not? And if you're not a subscriber, why not subscribe? Why not check out more of my videos? Don't forget our lives on Sundays. We go live on a Sunday, so keep an eye out for them. Shark Scrapper will be live 1 hour before my live, so again you can check out some of his content. Again, while over here, 2 chips on the underside, switch, which again more than likely has silver contacts inside, but I won't micro scrap that down here now. Again, we have a bit of aluminium with a copper MOSFET, and we have 2 of the crystal oscillators. So nothing major on that one, so we're going to have to go to the next one. So let's put that aside. Again, we have some timber which I can burn, take off that plastic, and that can be put in to burn, so at least I'll get a bit of timber out of it. Low grade MDF, but it'll still give it a little bit of heat off in the stove, so remove the plastic from that and in the stove it'll go. Right, so now the lowest of the lowest grade board. So you're probably thinking, how can it get any worse than what we've already seen, low grade? Well, it will, I'm sure. So again, what I might do, I'll do this off screen. You don't need to see me removing all them screws on that board. So I'm going to do that off screen, and we'll come back and we'll have a look at that board. Again, you can take off that motor for, if you wanted to take off the motor for getting your copper out of that, copper motor bearing motors. So once we remove that, we'll have a look underneath there. There was a little bit of a board, again, very low grade board. Not probably going to be worth my time taking off. Even I sometimes have to say, no, I'm not going to go that far. So let's take this board off while I'm off screen, and we'll come back and have a look at that board. And I'll also probably just cut all this wire off, and we'll see how much wire we ended up with and stuff like that. So let's see how we got on. Okay, so I have everything taken apart. So what did we end up getting? Well, we ended up getting 1 low grade board with a bit of aluminium on it. That's about it really, and the IC chip hidden in the middle there. So you have our little chip in there. So that's about it on that board. Nothing major. On this board, 2 chips on one side, another chip on this side, and again nothing else there really. I take off. I don't know, is there silver inside of these? If not, if anyone knows if there is. If not, I might take a bunch at some stage and do a little experiment to see if no one knows. Again, next board, bit of aluminium, some crystal oscillators, a copper MOSFET, few switches which should have silver hopefully inside that when I micro scrap it down a bit. There's also this board, which again has a few tactile switches which should have silver in them. So again, I'll pull them switches off and add them when I'm doing my silver. This little connector here looks like there's some little brassy bits in there which I can hit with a hammer, break out and get a little bit of brass. Small, every bit counts, guys. Every little bit of brass counts. What have I here? Again, this is the other board. So after all that effort of taking that board off, what did I get? 1 little black chip there, IC chip, and that's about it. nothing else really I could see there that is worth taking off. And underside, completely rubbish. So very poor on that one. We got a transformer, again can be put into copper bearing motors, and a little copper bearing motor, hopefully with a little bit of copper in it. So again, I might strip one of them out for a video at some stage, just to see how much copper is actually inside something like that little motor. More video probably than what you're going to get out of it. It's more to see what's in there. Is it worth micro scrapping them down? I know a lot of people say no, don't even bother, but again, until I do it myself, I'm never going to know, am I? So maybe a video coming on a few of them. What else do we end up with? A bunch of wire. So we have our insulated copper wire, and of course a little bit of timber that I can burn from the actual frame of the device. So that's about it. Nothing else really worth taking off there. Was it worth all the effort? No. Pile of plastic, bit of timber, and all that wasn't really worth the effort, but we know now what's inside, don't we? Before that we were saying, was there any nice boards in there? So on that low end one, no nice boards. Maybe at some stage we'll come across a higher end karaoke machine, a bigger one, and there might be some better boards inside. So until then, we'll just have to keep taking stuff apart and seeing what's inside them. So thanks as always guys for watching, and till the next one, hit the thumbs up, share it out, like, comment, and we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to check out the lives every Sunday.